Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Accomplishment of an objective. Someone who arrives, or has arrived. The act of arriving at a certain place. They awaited her arrival. The act of physically reaching or thrusting out. Accomplishment of an objective. Someone who arrives, or has arrived. Someone who arrives, or has arrived. Someone with a promising future. An ability that has been acquired by training. The action of accomplishing something. The action of accomplishing something. A person who changes location. A person who changes location. A military engagement. He saw action in Korea. A judicial proceeding brought by one party against another. One party prosecutes another for a wrong done or for protection of a right or for prevention of a wrong. The operating part that transmits power to a mechanism. The piano had a very stiff action. Institute legal proceedings against. File a suit against. She actioned the company for discrimination. Put in effect. He actioned the operation. The state of being active. He is out of action. A process existing in or produced by nature, rather than by the intent of human beings. The action of natural forces. An act by a government body or supranational organization. Recent federal action undermined the segregationist position. Something done, usually as opposed to something said. There were stories of murders and other unnatural actions. The most important or interesting work or activity in a specific area or field. The action is no longer in technology stocks but in municipal bonds. The series of events that form a plot. His novels always have a lot of action. The trait of being active and energetic and forceful. A man of action. Arrival that has been awaited, especially of something momentous. The advent of the computer. Christian theology, the reappearance of Jesus as judge for the Last Judgment. The season including the 4 Sundays preceding Christmas. The act of drawing spatially closer to something. Arrival that has been awaited, especially of something momentous. The moment of most intense pleasure in sexual intercourse. The temporal property of becoming nearer in time. Of the relatively near future. This coming Thursday. An ability that has been acquired by training. Arrival at a new stage. His attainment of puberty was delayed by malnutrition. The act of achieving an aim. The attainment of independence. Any new participant in some activity. A recent arrival. He's a newcomer to Boston. Someone who arrives late. A person who arrives early before others do. A person who gets up very early in the morning. The act of entering. Astronomy, the disappearance of a celestial body prior to an eclipse. Structure providing a place where boats can land people or goods. An intermediate platform in a staircase. The act of coming down to the earth, or other surface. The plane made a smooth landing. The act of coming to land after a voyage. The act of securing an arriving vessel with ropes. A place where a craft can be made fast. A fee for mooring. The income or profit arising from such transactions as the sale of land or other property. The average return was about 5%. The key on electric typewriters or computer keyboards that causes a carriage return and a line feed. Document giving the tax collector information about the taxpayer's tax liability. His gross income was enough that he had to file a tax return. Go back to a previous state. Elect again. A coming to or returning home. On his return from Australia, we gave him a welcoming party. Happening again, especially at regular intervals. The return of spring. Be restored. Her old vigor returned. Give or supply. Pass down. Pay back. Go back to something earlier. Getting something back again. Bring back to the point of departure. The act of someone appearing again. Answer back. Give back. A quick reply to a question or remark, especially a witty or critical one. Be inherited by. The land returned to the family. The occurrence of a change in direction back in the opposite direction. A reciprocal group action. In return, we gave them as good as we got. American football. The act of running back the ball after a kickoff or punt or interception or fumble. A tennis stroke that sends the ball back to the other player. He won the point on a cross-court return. Go or come back to place, condition, or activity where one has been before. Return to your native land. Make a return. Return a kickback. Return in kind. Return a compliment. Return to a previous position, in mathematics. The point returned to the interior of the figure. Submit, a report, etc., to someone in authority. The act of going back to a prior location. They set out on their return to the base camp. The act of securing an arriving vessel with ropes. Place for vessels to anchor. A city in south-central Alaska. A fee for anchoring. The act of anchoring. The condition of being secured to a base. The plant needs a firm anchorage. Pretending that something is the case in order to make a good impression. They try to keep up appearances. Formal attendance, in court or at a hearing, of a party in an action. Outward or visible aspect of a person or thing. A mental representation. I tried to describe his appearance to the police. The act of appearing in public view. The rookie made a brief appearance in the first period. The event of coming into sight. The act of reporting your presence, as at an airport or a hotel. Landing in a harbor next to a pier where ships are loaded and unloaded or repaired. May have gates to let water in or out. The act of securing an arriving vessel with ropes. A fee charged for a vessel to use a dock. The act of securing an arriving vessel with ropes. A movement into or inward. The act of entering. Put into a trance. Something that provides access, to get in or get out. They waited at the entrance to the garden. A movement into or inward. The act of entering. She made a grand entrance. Attract. Cause to be enamored. A written record of a commercial transaction. Something that provides access, to get in or get out. Beggars waited just outside the entryway to the cathedral. The act of beginning something new. The act of entering. Something, manuscripts or architectural plans and models or estimates or works of art of all genres etc. Submitted for the judgment of others, as in a competition. An item inserted in a written record. A coming to or returning home. An annual school or university reunion for graduates. The act of entering. Arriving at a place or position. Incoming class. Entering upon a position of office vacated by another. The incoming president.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.